Hello, everyone. Happy Sage Saturday. It's time to tap into our inner sage and really reflect on this past week, which was huge, and take a look into what's coming in this coming week. So, this week we did the second eclipse of eclipse season. It was a very powerful, power-packed, energetic week. Oh my gosh, so crazy with all of the things that have been revealed. So much awareness coming in. Hello, Charla. Good to see you. I saw you this morning too. So yeah, let me know in the comments that you're here, and let me know what big epiphanies you've been having this week as a result of this second eclipse and this whole eclipse season overall. I know for me, one of the things that really dropped in this week was, I kept getting, and this is, if you're not sure yet, take a look and reflect back at what are the repeated messages that I've been getting over the past week or 2 weeks during this eclipse season, because those are the areas where the awareness wants to drop in. And so for me, what was happening was I was getting messages through other people that this, whatever I was focused on as the issue was not really the issue. The issue was I was afraid. And I'm like, what the heck am I afraid of? I don't know what this is about. So I just invited the curiosity in. And I finally had the answer revealed to me in the past day or two, that I was afraid to create new programs, to create workshops and new offerings and new programs, because I didn't think I was capable of doing it, like creating something from scratch versus taking something out there that's already created, like I do with the brain game. But I've been feeling the call to creating my own programs, and I did that with the 42 Virtues of Mott series earlier during the summertime. But then I kind of like froze after that was done, and it was a big deal for me, that program, because it really stretched my ability to hold space for a lot more people, which I didn't know that that's what was happening until I was about, I don't know, halfway through, because it was a 6-week series. And, I thought, oh, I'm just doing these emails. This is not that big a deal. And it was a big deal. It was really taxing to hold that much space, because we had 46 participants, I think. It was a lot. I've never worked with that large a group of people before. And when I started it, I didn't really get that that's what I was doing, that, through email I would be holding so much space. So once I started doing that and realizing what was happening and realizing how much I was being pulled to expand to working with larger groups, it was like, oh, okay, now I get why this is so challenging for me, and yet so rewarding. I got so much out of that experience. But then we went into September, because it completed the first week of September, and I had all these plans to introduce new things, and I froze. Like I didn't have the energy and the capacity to do it at the time. And then once I started regaining my energy and capacity, it was like, that's really when the freeze state started coming in, was in October. That fear of making a mistake, doing the wrong thing, whatever. And I didn't realize it was happening. I thought it was still integrating. I thought it, whatever. And so here I am in November now, and I'm about to introduce a new workshop this afternoon. So I'm very excited about that. It's the power of Neptune. So watch for that. I'm going to be sending an invite. I'll be posting on Facebook and Instagram, and also through my email. So I'll be announcing that, but that will be this coming Tuesday. So I'm really excited about that. I'm excited about what we can bring through and really activate the energy of the Neptune season for everyone, because that was another big thing that happened this week, is we moved into our collective Neptune season officially on Thursday. So there's, a lot about that. We entered our dream time, our dream state, but there's a lot of stuff that goes with this Neptune season. And really, because of the energies we're working with in the monthly energies as well. So, let me see what Charla's saying here. Was there another kind of pause energy at work? It feels different than the pause we had in the spring, but there's been this feeling of dryness even as things are racing and moving. Interesting. Yeah. So, yeah, okay. So the energy we had in the spring was the first set of eclipse seasons. There was the eclipse season in the spring, and then this eclipse season kind of brought all that to a head and to a completion. So that's why we feel like we're in a major completion energy right now, a momentum of completion. And yeah, I'm trying to feel into what you mean by dryness. Like there's, well, spring is when we're rebirthing, we're birthing the new, we're coming into that summer energy. Now, at least for us in the northern hemisphere, we're going into our fall and winter season. So there is, a actual physically drying out of leaves on trees and falling away and things like that. The frozen aspect I described. Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, there was definitely a period of just integration that needed to happen because it was such a big period of expansion when I was in the 42 Virtues of Mont series. So I definitely needed some integration there, and that was that energy of September because it was a 6 energy month, which is all about integration. And I don't know if you guys remember September, but it was also because it was the 9th month, very, very heavy mental energy. It was really challenging to navigate for many of us. And then, so coming into October, it was like, whoa, okay, what the heck just happened? And it took me longer to get my bearings than I would have liked. But, I think one of the things I learned that in this recent eclipse season too, is that we need to accept where we are in our journey right now, and that not make it wrong, and stop comparing ourselves with other people. Like huge, awarenesses around that, and I think that's coming up for a lot of people. And you guys can let me know in the comments if you've been experiencing that, but really feeling like just not comparing, like, so that fear of opening our mouth, of using our voice, I think it's been a big theme for a lot of people. Fear of the judgment of what people will think, and really the eclipse is helping us move through and break through that. And that plays into me creating new programs, because that is a way of me using my voice and using my gifts and talents as a numerologist, as a coach, as a teacher, as a healer, and really moving new things out into the world in my special sauce, the way that I can create things based on all of the different experiences that I've had that no one else has had just quite like I have. So, and this is the thing about all of this, we bring our own special sauce to things. So even if you see someone else out there, we have a lot of numerologists in our community, and we all do things differently. We all have our own special flavor. We all have our own experiences and wisdom to bring through, and our own relationship with the numbers that comes through. Yeah, a lot of self-love and acceptance, exactly, which does not make other people's opinions matter, right? Exactly, Kelty. Very, very true. And that's what's really been coming through, I think, for so many of us. And, really trusting ourselves over everyone else, has been a big, big theme through this whole year that we've been traversing between these two eclipse seasons. And we're still in this post-eclipse period, so we're still wrapping up lessons from it, and it's so perfectly laid out that we're in the clubs right now. We're in this mental energy right now, and it's shifting our thinking, it's shifting our our thought patterns, our belief systems, we're shedding a lot still post eclipse. So it's like we've been through the hardest part of the eclipse season now, but we're still having a lot of awareness come in, especially because we're in this 11th month of the year. It's all about awareness, right? The October and November, all about awareness and, really coming in and because we're in the clubs, it's all this mental awareness now. So it's beautifully timed. And, like you can't make this up. The universe really does want to support us, is always supporting us, and, lines everything up for us to really allow us to have the breakthroughs and the growth and expansion that we're being called into. It's like, oh, do this big thing, but we're not going to give you any support or guidance on how to do that. No, the universe has laid it all out beautifully for us, so lovingly, so compassionately, to really support us in this process of expanding our consciousness. And it is truly beautiful. And I think, what was I going to say? Just really landing into that belief that everything is actually, here supporting you, loving you, guiding you through this, and that all you need to do is really tap into that wisdom and tap into the energetics of the universe and into your own highest self wisdom. I would think one of the other things we've really been guided into is tapping into our highest self even more. And that is that trust of self, but it's trust of self on a very spiritual level. Goes beyond trusting your intuition, but really tapping into your own infinite beingness, your limitlessness, which is what Neptune is calling us into. So this collective Neptune, and whether it's your personal Neptune season or not, you're feeling the energy of this Neptune season on a collective level, and it's interplaying with your personal chart, no matter where you are in your seasonal influences, and it's always affecting the season that you're currently in. So, for instance, when the collective is in their Neptune, I'm in my Venus, and I'm in my Saturn. And my Neptune season is during the collective Venus. But I'm in my Saturn right now. So, Saturn and Neptune both hold us very accountable to our dreams, but in a little bit different ways. So my personal accountability to my dreams, just overall in my life, is massive. It's real, like I can't stray from that. I can't get away with straying from that without pretty big repercussions, which is why I feel like my experiences in life have been pretty extreme, because when I'm not really devoted to my dreams or clear on what my dreams are, or allowing myself to dream and expand and dream bigger, I suffer for it. So, and it's not to be a punishment. It's really because I came here to do such big things, So if you're in your personal Saturn right now, this could be resonating with you a lot, what I'm saying, because you probably have had experiences like this in your own life. So, it really does depend on where that lands, because you have your Neptune cycle comes through, every week, once a week, depending on the day of the week you were born. It would be the 7th day of your week. And then it comes through every year, once a year, in your 7th season of your year, which, is depending on when you were born, will depend on when that lands in the year. And then it comes through your lifetime as well, in your last season of your life. So, there's, but yet, even when you're not in your Neptune energies are affecting you. And we'll go into that in great detail in the workshop that I'm doing on Tuesday, which I'm really excited about, and actually activating that and discovering exactly what your personal Neptune cycle is and how that impacts you. So it's going to be awesome. And So for this week, we have coming up. I tapped into the energy for this week. There's going to be a continuation of this completion energy and rebirth energy for as we conclude this period of post-eclipse season, which actually concludes on the new moon, which isn't until the following week. So we've still got a week and a half to go to that new moon, but this week we're going to be finishing out our clubs, and then on the very last day, on Sunday, we'll be starting the hearts. We'll be going into that emotional plane again. So that is coming, but this whole week is really primarily going to be focused on the mental clearing and shifting and really completing any residual lessons from the eclipse that want to come through. So a lot of awareness still coming through, a lot of awakening. A lot of people on the planet just awakened. And so we're feeling the energetics of that too, because we are all connected, we're all one. And, we're feeling that uplift of energy of there are more of us now that are on this journey. There are more people that just awakened. But if you remember back to when you first just awakened, there comes with that a period of fear and anger that comes before it starts getting easier and starts getting to be a little more blissful, right? So remembering that and having the compassion for that, because there are people that are just in those beginning stages now of that process, and how can we bring more love and bring more support to them and to the world through our own awakening process, through continuing on our own journey, through continuing to focus on being and creating more love in ourselves so that we can then emanate that out to the world. So it's not about, that's our best and most powerful way to be of service. So continue on your journey this week of self-exploration and willingness to ask questions, to be curious, to open your mind even more into what is possible. If you've been getting repeated messages from other people and you're like, why does everybody keep saying this to me? It doesn't make sense to me. Get curious, like ask your higher self, can you please reveal this to me? Or ask source or whatever feels right to you. Can you please reveal to me what it is that people are trying to tell me here? Because I don't see it, I don't see it yet, but I would like to. I'm open to seeing it, and you will be shown. It's really just a question of setting that intention to be curious. So it's not about having all the answers all the time, but being open and curious to receiving more, which is what this 8 energy month is all about, receiving more. So we're receiving more awareness this month. We're receiving more awareness about ourselves, about our limitlessness, about our infiniteness, about our capabilities as conscious creators, and what the power of love can actually do in our lives, right? So that's what we're leaning into, and it's going to be more of that this week. Many of us are experiencing more of an opening of the third eye. You can definitely support that opening by, allowing yourself to spend time visioning, channeling, in meditation, things like that. You can also support that with the foods and drink that you put in your body or don't put in your body. So staying very hydrated and being really clean with your eating, lots of fruits and vegetables over other things. Staying away from all of the junk food that likes to come in this season. Not from a point of deprivation, but, just being mindful that sometimes that can just, muck up the channel a little bit. So the cleaner you're eating, the better it is for you. And there are fun things that you can do and create with healthy foods that can also be fun, festive, foods to have. So, even healthy cookies and stuff like that, there's things you can do to still have those treats and not be really mucking up your system with a lot of processed stuff. So, and you'll just feel better because there's so much energy pouring in. Again, lots of light energy pouring in. So, we're wanting to allow that to flow in more freely by staying super hydrated. And you can hear it in my voice. I need more hydration right now because our humidity level like took a massive nosedive and we're like in the teens. So it's really, really low. So we need a lot of hydration here anyway, here in Los Angeles. But on top of it, we've got all this light pouring in again. So we all need way more hydration than you think you do. And it's not only about drinking lots of water, lemon water particularly, but also, avoiding the things that dehydrate the body, like caffeine and like high levels of fat or sugar, all of those processed things. Those can all dehydrate the body. Too much cooked food, and this time of year we want more cooked food because it is colder out in most places. But just be mindful to bring in some salads or fruits and things like that as well to help balance that out. And we're just focusing though this week on more awakening and more tapping into and realizing and being open to what's possible. So if you find yourself, set an intention to catch yourself with limited thoughts. Like if you're seeing things, a certain situation, very black and white, like it's a choice between this or this, and that's it, there's nothing else, then you're limiting your possibilities because there's always infinite ways something can occur. So, especially like today, we have this 2 energy, which does bring us to a decision point, and usually we're choosing between 2 things. And you might have that situation rise up, but get curious about what else is possible here. Is there another possibility here that I'm not seeing? Just asking the question is so powerful because you really can open your mind up to more awareness. So, yeah, Charla. So you're ready to let go of things that are muddying the choosing and the creating. Yeah, exactly. So for sure. And let me know, you guys, in the comments. How is this resonating with you? What have your experiences been? I love to make this more of a conversation than a prediction time. Although, I do like to share with you what energies are coming up, but it's so important too. And this is one of the things that really landed for me in the last 2 months was how important Uranus Day really is, which is our collective Saturday. It's really important every week to take some time out to just reflect on what we've learned for the week and what has transpired and celebrate the wins, celebrate how far we've come. And I was talking about that third eye opening, and I did want to share, like, I actually saw my first ghost, and I've been calling in a release of fear around seeing other entities in the spiritual realm because and I've been specifically asking, like, could you start by showing me during the daylight, instead of at night, because that scares me more. And so I did have an experience this past week. I think it was last weekend when I was out walking, and this woman, this car drove up and parked at the curb in front of a house by where I was walking, and this woman got out of the car and for some reason, we were kind of close in proximity, and I'm not really sure why. I was walking in the street because we don't have a lot of sidewalks in my neighborhood. But she got out of the car and she was wearing a mask, like a COVID mask or whatever, face mask. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to judge this. Like, that was my first thought because I went to go to judge and I was like, no, I don't need to judge her for this. And then I just kept walking by, and I started to walk to the edge of the there's like this little hill where it goes down, and then there's a trail by the river. And so I was overlooking the trail, and I turned around, and she was like almost right on top of me, which was really weird. Like she would have had to walk really fast to get there, because of where she was at with the getting out of the car, whatever. And I thought she was walking to the house. It was just a weird experience. So I turned around and noticed she was almost on top of me, like really like right over my shoulder. And I was like, okay, that's weird. And I turned around again, and I just was enjoying the sun on my body, feeling it on my face. And I turned around again, like, and we're talking less than a minute, like seconds going by, she was gone. Because I turned around to see, where did she land? Like, where is she standing near me, right? Because I just wanted to know. And she was gone. And then I looked a little further, and the car was gone. And I'm like, okay, there's no human way that that was possible. So I was like, wow, that's really crazy. I was like, what WTF, right? and then I realized, I'm like, oh, well, I called this in. So I'm interested. And then I took a picture of the full moon too the other day, and I think I got one of the blue beans on my camera with it, because there's this like blue orb, and I've been working with the blue beans on my own for a while now, ever since I came into the awareness that they existed, but I'd never been able to see them, and that was another thing that I was calling in. And I think I caught one on camera in this blue orb when I took this picture of the full moon. So there's some really cool things happening that are showing me the third eye is opening more, and I'm having some more experiences like that of even when I'm in meditation, just having more visuals than I have in the past and things. So notice that happening. If you're interested in that, calling that in, those experiences, and just then being open and allowing to whatever comes in, because our third eyes are definitely wanting to open more right now. So, and that is happening. So just calling in an awareness of that, and releasing of any fears you might have around what you might see or be shown, and really just being open to that. Because most of my the clairs that I've been working with the most up until this point have been my clairaudience. I hear geometric shapes instead of words. So I hear words started in the form of geometric shapes before they became sounds, and then were formed into words. So I'm hearing the messages when I channel in their original form, in their purest form. And I believe that's one of the reasons that when I do readings for people, it comes out so accurate, because there's such a pure message coming in through my hearing. So that's the clair that I've really developed first and foremost, I think. And then, I can smell, I can feel, and then I have some of the psychic stuff coming through, but really, like, now I see it starting to really enhance. So just observing and calling in and being curious will help start activating things more for you. And it can be a lot of fun. So Kelsey says, oh wait, back up to Samantha. So much mundane energy for you, trying to lean out of it and bring in spontaneity. Okay, yeah, so, that can be happening right now too. I did feel myself getting a little pulled and caught up that way, kind of in almost like it's almost like a procrastination energy. But what procrastination really is, I feel, is like being called to expansion, but being like hesitant to really move through and break through that comfort zone. And so sometimes when we're in that feeling of the mundane energy, it could be because there's something in you that's afraid to move through that comfort zone. And so you feel the pull to doing it, trying to lean out of it and bring in spontaneity, and yet, like, you're still kind of in the loop with it, and it really does take a conscious effort to go, okay, I'm interrupting this now. And one of the things I can suggest for that, because I do get caught up in that as a ruling number 10 and a 3 of spades really easily, sometimes, is that just do something. Like, just say, you know what, I'm just going to do something that's different. Even if it's just rearranging your schedule a little bit, like that I've been playing with this week. I'm not so militant about, okay, I have to do my meditation and my journaling first, and then this, and then this, and then this. I'm letting myself play around with that a little bit, to just kind of shake things up. And that could even small tweaks like that to your normal routines can help you kind of interrupt that, and then you'll see how things start to move and flow from there. So hopefully that'll help you, Samantha. Kelty says, this has been great. You feel like you've expanded so much in the last few months that your body's in kind of absorption phase, taking it all in. Yes, absolutely. And we always need to remember throughout this shift that we need to support and love our bodies and appreciate our bodies, and really take care of our bodies, because it does, our bodies have to do so much to catch up with our ethereal expansion happening so quickly, and then the body being so dense, it does take longer for the body to catch up. So, allowing yourself that space to absorb and integrate and all of that as we go, and being aware of that you do need space and time to do that. Samantha says, being the observer more than being reactive. Regulating first, which I love. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Absolutely. And back to what I was saying earlier too, just the non-judgment of where you're at in your process, and yet being mindful too of not allowing yourself to get too complacent, so there's a balance with that. And you'll find that balance if you just call it in, ask the curiosity, is there something I need to do right now to move myself forward and shift myself out of this mundane energy? Because if you're feeling it being mundane, if you've taken the brain game, there's that, or you've ever heard of Abraham Hicks talks about the emotional scale too. You're on that edge of the emotional scale when you're in that feeling of being in the mundane, where you're on the border of contentment and boredom. And it's that moment right there where you need to choose to either up level or you're going to slide back. So you want to always be choosing to expand, and move up your vibrational frequency. So out of that mundane. And like I said, just even some small tweaks to being flexible or changing up, switching something around that you do, even if it's stuff that you need to do every day, but switching the order or something, just something to jostle up the mind. Like even when I go for my walks, I'll change routes, or when you're driving, change the route, change the streets that you go on, just to exercise the mind, to expand it. Because if you get too much in a routine, then you can get caught up in these loops. So changing simple things can interrupt the loop. Kelty, you've also had a sore neck and joints. Instead of worrying or thinking it's because you're old, excited about what transformations your body is making, asking it what it needs. Excellent. Making it a good experience, if that makes sense. Yeah, absolutely. Celebrating that, because those aches and pains are usually, and I'm not a doctor, that's my disclaimer, but from a spiritual perspective, I believe that those are expressions of, oh, right, we're in some expansion right now. We're releasing, or we are shifting, or our body is adjusting, and trusting the infinite wisdom of your body, that it knows what it's doing, and it's moving things out and rearranging things and up leveling, so that it can be in congruence with your energetic field that you're creating, who you're becoming, right? So that is something to celebrate. It's like, oh yeah, my neck hurts. It sounds a little weird to celebrate that, but it's like, oh right, thank you, body. You're making the adjustments. or thank it because maybe it's sending you a message. And so it's good to stay in close communication with your body, and noticing too, like we were talking about our clairs being heightened, noticing too those body sensations. Like this week, I also noticed, it was on eclipse day. I sat down to meditate first thing in the morning, and it was like, no, my body was not letting me sit still. Like I was literally jumpy. I couldn't like physically sit still. And I was like, wow, okay. So I decided I was going to go for a walk. So I went for my walk, and then I came back and I sat down again to meditate, and it was still like, nope, not now. So I was like, okay. So I went to the grocery store, and I went to the other grocery store because I can't usually get everything I need at one. And although that's an interesting belief system, I could question that, but that so I did that, and then when I came back, like literally 15 minutes after I got back, the sky just turned black, and the wind kicked up really fierce, and like the rain just started pouring down. And then I went down to sit and meditate after I put away the groceries, and it was like, we're good. Now we can meditate. Now it's time. So it was like letting me know, hey, this is your last chance to get outside and actually get some sun. Well, the sun was out from between the clouds, and literally, like the time I was out there was the only time the whole day where there was a little bit of sun. So like, your body's communicating with you, your body's giving you messages. So anyway, I can see I've been talking for a bit here, and I've enjoyed our conversation so much. And just really celebrating all of these discoveries, all of these new things, and celebrating the little things, and in noticing where you are listening to your body more, where you are trusting your intuition more, where your clairs are opening up, what is opening up for you, what are you opening up to receiving more of this month, because that's really what it's all about, is receiving the more. More isn't always money, although money's nice and we welcome it in. And it can be more of a lot of things: more love, more health, more connection with your higher self, more connection with your body, like all these things, right? So just embracing the more. Love you guys so much. Hello, B. You can definitely tap into the replay. We're just wrapping up now. So good to see you all. Thank you for being here. And watch for your invitations. Watch for my posts about the Power of Neptune play shop. I don't like using the word work. So the play shop coming up on this Tuesday. It will be at 12 p.m. Pacific. And I will be announcing that later today, and so watch for that, because that's going to be really exciting and fun. We're really going to tap into all things Neptune. So have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys again for Magical Mondays at 11 a.m. Bye-bye for now.